welcome to this episode. I'm Bill Snodgrass, and you might want to get some coffee for this one. This one's going to be long. So the topic for this episode is I'm going to talk about TikTok. And I mentioned this in a previous video that I would be doing this. Some of you probably subscribed because I mentioned this video. So here it is, the TikTok. I'm going to talk about TikTok. So this came up the other day. I was in class. It was middle of the period, and a student comes up to me and says, "Can we go to the back of the room and make a TikTok?" And I was like, "Well, have you mastered today's benchmarks and standards?" And they nodded. I said, "So you know the definition of a colloid suspension and a solution?" And I said, "You know how to..." And I was like, "Okay." So I checked the grade book. Sure enough, they're all done. They're all caught up, good grades and everything. So I said, "Yeah, sure, go make a TikTok." And I stand by that decision. Why would I stand by a decision to allow students in my classroom to go to the back of the class and make a TikTok? If you don't know what TikTok is, it replaced Vine and Musical.ly as the popular app for short, usually sort of comical or sometimes very serious, but there's a lot of really shenanigans, things that you would not normally consider academic pursuits that are represented in TikToks. Why would I let a student do that? Why? Here's why. First of all, in defense of my decision, let me say this. I love education. I believe that it is probable that I have been a student more than the vast majority of people in the United States, for sure, probably the vast majority of people on the planet. I have probably more graduate hours than the vast majority of people that I encounter on a daily basis. I love to learn. Not a day passes that I don't draw from something in my graduate studies. There's not a single day goes by that the things I learn in the classroom do not manifest themselves in my day-to-day interaction with young people and in my day-to-day presentation of content to young people. Not a day passes. I think education is absolutely essential. Education of one kind or another. You can get an education to go into one of the trades. You can get education to become a truck driver. You can get education to be in the middle. Education of some sort, some sort of training, absolutely important. I'm not saying that education is wrong. What I am saying is sometimes it is wrong, because back in the 90s, in one of my graduate studies, we were talking about the growing need for recreation knowledge, because this is what they were saying. Computers are making people so much more productive. Here's the thing they got wrong. We're probably going to go to a 4-day work week, and people are going to have 3-day weekends, and they're going to have to fill that with recreational activities. Didn't happen. Didn't come close to happening. The increase in productivity just increased the demand that employers put on people to, fill those 40 hours with productivity. We don't know what the future is going to be like. In 1999, started my own business doing website design. And I can remember distinctly me and my business partner sitting at a table, and we unloaded our pockets, is what you would do when you got to the lunch table, because in 1999 you had to take out things from your pockets to sit down. You had to pull out your phone, which was just a phone, and it may have been a large phone. It may have been it was not a tiny little phone. 1999. We'd also pull out our pager, because I only had like 30 minutes of talk time on the phone, and I didn't want strangers calling in, and so I had a pager. Now, I remember an era when the pagers would beep and you would dial a number and they'd tell you who called, but my pager was digital. It would beep and I could look and see the number of who called. And then you would pull out your, we had this thing called Palm Pilot that had our database, that had our address book in it. And then, yes, indeed, I had an iPod as well. I didn't carry that in my pocket all the time, but I had an iPod. So I had an iPod, I had a pager, I had a phone, and had my Palm Pilot, and then I had my wallet, and had my keys. We could have never imagined the changes from 1999 in the next 20 years. We could not imagine what life would be like in 2019 based on our understanding. And we were technically inclined. We were kind of thinking in big picture, what's going to happen? What is the internet going to do to society? We were asking that question because our business was. We had clients would call and say, why do I need a website in 1999? We had an answer for that. We had answers that would generally extend beyond their budget to come up with a web solution. We could answer that question in 1999, but we never imagined this thing. Not in 1999. I don't remember people actually talking about it in 1999, that we're going to integrate all these electronic devices and we're going to put internet capacity on there so that you can literally talk to your phone and ask it questions and have it tell you the answers. You can do hey Siri, how do you convert 27 degrees Fahrenheit to Celsius?
27 degrees Fahrenheit is minus 2.8 degrees Celsius.
Not even on our radar. Now, how does that have anything to do with TikTok? Because I believe the skills that the students are learning to make TikToks are skills that are going to find their way into a productivity 20 years from now. What do you have to do to make a TikTok? You have to plan a little short episode that tells and explains something. You have to organize it with whomever else is going to be in the video. You have to collaborate together. You have to use the video capacity of some device. You have to merge that video with audio of some other possibly download or possibly another device that you recorded the audio on, or maybe you record the audio on the same device. Lots of different things you have to put into consideration. Probably a lot of the TikToks have like slides that go over top of them with, yes, indeed, words. I'm not saying that TikToks are the only thing that kids need to learn how to do, but I'm saying that learning to make a TikTok teaches them to use a lot of very important skills that over the next 20 years are going to find themselves more and more into the workplace. There are very few presentations out there these days that do not include graphics, audio, and words. So there will be graphical information, which is going to draw from their math skills. There's going to be words on there, which is going to draw from their literary skills, reading, writing, spelling, punctuation, all those things. And by the way, if you are watching this just because I said TikTok, spelling is really a thing. If you're going to make slides on your TikTok, go ahead and figure out how to spell it. And also, that one guy I saw, he said he had his buddy's jacket or something. He spelled it. And he meant just this one guy, and he spelled it Budies. It's apostrophe S because it's possess. These are things you need to learn if you're going to be successful, but not the only things you need to learn. We do not know what the next 20 years is going to look like. We do not know how much of the skills necessary to shoot a 15-second video are going to come up on a day-to-day basis. We didn't know that we were going to get rid of our Palm Pilots when we went out and spent $350 on those things. And by the way, it was pretty awesome when you could sync those up, because when we meant by sync them up, we had to go back to the computer, plug them into a thing, go to the menu. The idea of syncing to the cloud in 1999 was not even a thing. We don't know in 2039 what's going to be a thing. And there are people who go, oh, Snodgrass, you don't know what you're talking about. We know exactly what the next 20 years does. This is all the things that are going to happen. Don't believe it. I don't think you do know. The iPhone is barely 10 years old, and look at the revolution the iOS Galaxy platform has brought to business and to education. And if you think that you know what the next 20 years are going to unfold, then really you should probably be a very wealthy person 25 years from now, because if you know for sure, you need to make some investments now. I don't think have even begun to scratch the surface of what the internet is going to do. Now back to TikTok. The skills learned in making a TikTok are learned in developing a really good YouTube video and those sorts of things. Hey, if you live stream your game, if you're a live stream gamer, Yeah, that's a whole lot like a conference call in the business world, where you have to set up a screen share so that everyone in the company can see your spreadsheet. The skills, I've not ever live streamed a video game, but I have a sense of what that entails, is getting a screen capture and feeding it to the internet and having lots of people connect to it. That is conference calling. That is a daily aspect of business. Live streaming, making videos, shooting YouTubes, editing video, all of these things are not going to go away in the next 20 years, maybe in the next 50. In fact, I would say the opposite. There may be something on the horizon like augmented reality, but augmented reality, whatever augmented reality turns out to be, is going to grow out of video editing and shooting video and putting video together and then bringing in the augmented reality aspects into mixing video with live. Those are kind of foreseeable future things. The skills that you learn in making TikToks, the things you learn in making YouTube videos, the skills, all of these. But please go ahead and learn how to spell and punctuate too, because it really annoys me when I'm watching someone's, YouTube and they misspell words. Like I was thinking second period and I spelled it tooth period in a previous video. It really annoys me when I do that. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been talking for a long time. I believe this is an important topic. Yes, if a kid in my class is done with their work and they have mastered the content and they ask me, and they have a decent idea. One of the things I said is, no one's gonna get hurt, right? Nothing's gonna get broken, right? No one's gonna get fired from their job, right? And they said, no, none of those things are gonna happen. I was like, all right. If it is done well and it is thought out and it is, appropriate content for a school environment, I'm gonna say yes, because I think you're learning something. I think that students are learning something. Because I've been fooling around on TikTok trying to learn how to do it. There's a lot involved. It is not just like, point your phone and push a button. If you want to get your sounds, it is not a trivial process. And if you want all your slides to sync up, that is not a trivial process. There is a certain amount of knowledge and information that you need. And learning how to do that in 2019 is like when we learned to sync our phones sync our Palm Pilots in 1999. That was the forerunner to syncing our phones with the cloud in 2019. And what you learn in 2019 is the forerunner to what you're going to be doing in 2039. I hope I'm there to see it. I'm amazing. Last comment. The things that we don't know about 20 years from now are going to be invented by the kids making TikToks today. The things that haven't yet been invented, the kids who are making YouTubes and streaming their video games in 2019, those are the people who are going to invent those things that revolutionize the world in 20 years. They'll be 35, 40 when in 20 years. Well, they won't be 40. They'll be somewhere between 35 and 39. The kids in the school. I should stop talking now. Thank you for watching. Go make a couple TikToks and see if you can see what you have to learn in order to be successful. And by successful, I mean just getting it uploaded. Not successful like anybody's going to actually watch it. Go see what skill sets are necessary. And yes, reading, writing, arithmetic, all those things are necessary skills to be successful in the future, but they're not the only things that are necessary skills to be successful in the future. Check out Howard Gardner and his 7 intelligence. It's a moderately old theory on differences in learning. It's got some amazing stuff in there that, there's a lot of things that require a type of intelligence that are not taught in books or on calculators. That is it. I really am going to stop talking now. Thank you for watching. I hope you're still here. If you are, click the like button, subscribe to the channel. These are the kind of things that rattle around in my head. If this is something that interests you, subscribe to the channel, sign up for notifications so that you never ever miss out. Down in the description section are links to other social media outlets that I have and all that sort of stuff. And so bounce around the internet and check out the other thoughts that I'm sharing in the other places. What else? I think I said everything I needed to say. So I will end by thanking you one last time. Thanks for watching. See you in the next episode.